When the starting gun sparks a storm, California track meet turns into a flashpoint over trans athlete debate. It was supposed to be another Saturday of sun, sweat and school pride on the track in Yorba Linda, California. But what began as a high-stakes semifinal for the state's top high school athletes quickly morphed into something far more charged, a stage for protest, pain and politics. At the heart of it, a transgender athlete competing in the girls' high jump, long jump and triple jump. And let's just say, the reactions were anything but quiet. Just 48 hours before the meet, 3 of California's most respected Christian high schools, JSerra Catholic, Lutheran and Crean Lutheran, sent a joint letter to the California Interscholastic Federation. Their message was sharp, emotional and direct. They argued that allowing biological males to compete in girls' sports under the CIF's gender identity policy not only threatened fairness but also sidelined female athletes and compromised their values. For young women, this means lost opportunities, the letter read. And the stakes? They were very real. This weekend, our star female athletes will go head-to-head against a male athlete identifying as female. That was not just a statement. It was a warning. And yes, it stirred the pot. Fast forward to Saturday morning. The track meet was about to start, but before any records could be broken, microphones were set up. A press conference unfolded just outside the event. Athletes, parents and school officials gathered, their voices steady but eyes full of frustration. No matter how hard we train, how many hours we put in, reality always sets in. Men and women are different, said Olivia Viola of Crean Lutheran. Her words were heartfelt, and she was not alone. The crowd nodded. Some parents clapped. Others just looked exhausted. And honestly, can you blame them? This is not just about who wins a medal. It is about teenage girls who have been chasing personal bests all year, maybe all their lives, suddenly facing a competitor whose physical advantages they say tilt the playing field beyond repair. It is not bitterness. It is bewilderment. And in many ways, it is a cry for clarity. But here is the twist. The CIF is not acting in a vacuum. Their policy is backed by California law, specifically Education Code Section 221.5 F. According to the CIF, students are allowed to participate in school athletics consistent with their gender identity, regardless of what it says on their legal documents. Their official stance? They want students to belong, to connect, to compete. That all sounds noble, right? And yet, somewhere between that vision and the track lanes in Yorba Linda, a collision happened. A collision between inclusion and fairness. Between state law and personal faith. Between empathy and outrage. Even Governor Gavin Newsom, who typically champions progressive causes, recently admitted that transgender athletes competing in girls' sports is deeply unfair. Still, he defends the policy, citing the importance of compassion toward the trans community. A complex stance in a sea of firm opinions. But the tide may be shifting. In April, the Redlands Unified School Board in San Bernardino voted to bar transgender athletes from girls' sports. A recent bipartisan survey from the Public Policy Institute of California showed that most Californians agree with that move. More than 70% of school parents, in fact, believe trans athletes should compete based on biological sex, not gender identity. Now that is a statistic that turns heads. Meanwhile, the U.S. Department of Education is investigating CIF for possible Title IX violations. Depending on the outcome, the implications could ripple far beyond California. But let us return to that track in Yorba Linda. The dust has settled. The scores are in. Yet for many, the real competition is just beginning. Not in the sandpits or over the high bar, but in school boards, courtrooms and living rooms across the country. Because here is the thing. This is no longer just a sports story. It is a story about what we value, how we define fairness, and who gets to draw the line. And whether you are a parent, a coach or simply someone who believes in a level playing field, you are probably wondering the same thing a lot of Californians are asking now. Where do we go from here?